There isn't much to do here. The beach is the main place where families go to enjoy themselves. I'm keen to swim, but I'm told that as a woman I must go early in the morning, when I will not be seen. I'm advised to swim far from the shore. The sewage system is near collapse and each day 77,000 cubic meters of raw and partially treated sewage is discharged into the sea. So I'm taken out by a fisherman. We go about half a mile out before it is deemed safe enough to swim. It's the first time I've ever swum in the sea in my clothes. There is an item of clothing here called a burkini, lightweight trousers and a loose-fitting shirt that Muslim women can swim in. I wear the nearest equivalent I can muster from my suitcase. After my swim I emerge onto the beach, my salty clothes clinging to me. It is still early and a group of fishermen watch as I walk ashore. I traipse down the beach squishing around in my wet clothes, but I suspect my blonde hair draws more attention than my wet attire. Dried and changed, I wander around the city. I stop at the PLO flag shop. Like all the non-essential stores here, there is no one inside, but the rather dejected owner. He leaps to his feet and hands me box after box of incredible trinkets. Yasser Arafat key rings, Hamas bookmarks, pins of dead martyrs, etc. I settle for a t-shirt that says Free Gaza and a mug with iron bars printed on it, and the rather cheery legend, smile. You're in Gaza, the biggest prison in the world. Before the Free Gaza boat had left to return to Cyprus, leaving myself and 10 others who wanted to stay and carry out humanitarian work, I had been assured that I would be allowed to leave via Rafah, the only connection to the outside world for ordinary Palestinians. This border crosses into Egypt and has been open for just 8 days this year. It is an essential doorway to the world, a way for people and goods to get into and out of this stricken land. I joined the crush of humanity in a bus heading across Rafah's no man's land. The bus, like virtually all the public transportation in Gaza, has no air conditioning. It broke down ages ago, and there are no parts to fix it. This is no joke as it's over 35 deck points inside. The bus stops with a jolt. Inside the Rafah terminal, it is utter chaos. It amuses me later to read a report in an Egyptian newspaper pronouncing the opening a well-organized success. To British eyes, it's a scene straight from Terminal 5 Heathrow during the height of summer, and more families sprawled, dejected on the floor, men yelling at the authorities, and snappy police in uniforms with riot truncheons and guns strapped to their waist. My passport is taken away and still not returned after an hour and a half. I'm starting to panic when I spot a familiar face. It is the teacher, Wissam. Despite still not having the right papers, he is hoping he will be allowed to cross the border. He has not seen his wife, who lives in France, for 2 years. I leave Wissam talking to his wife on his mobile. He is sure this time he will get through. I have wandered outside to escape the chaos and panic in the terminal for a moment. I hand a tennis ball to Mohammed, my security guard. I brought several tennis balls to Gaza to give to children at checkpoints who get bored. We take turns rolling the ball at a can, a point awarded every time it is knocked down. Another young man in a black suit, who Mohammed describes as Mr. Qasim, Mr. Rocket, joins us. We enjoy the game, shouting and cheering at every loss and gain, until we attract the attention of a middle-aged man in a t-shirt and black trousers. A gun strapped to his belt and his full beard denotes his authority. He shouts furiously at my companions and then strides away. A masked gunman belonging to the military wing of the Palestinian group Fatah controls a tiny enclave within the Rafah border of the Gaza Strip. I quickly pick up the ball, assuming our games are over. But then my colleague Ken O'Keefe and I are led to a secluded patch near to some stables, where the police horses are looked after. A serious young man marks a line in the dirt track. We are to play handball with Hamas. It is one of the most bizarre experiences of my stay in Gaza. The break lifts my spirits, but I'm soon brought back down to earth when I return to the terminal. The Egyptians maintain the border has only been open to humanitarian traffic, and we are again not allowed to leave. The Egyptian authorities add that, if we hang around the terminal, they'll close the checkpoint, and no one else will cross today. The official who tells me this news pleads with me to go. Complaining about mistreatment at checkpoints leads to collective punishment. It is an uncannily precise echo of the threat made to me by the IAF when I tried to exit via Erez into Israel just the day before. I'll learn later that Wissam, along with 200 other Gazans, was turned back too. The city of Rafah is also home to a vast refugee camp in the south, known during the pre-Hamas days for running gun battles and bloody familial feuds. Driving into the area a few days later, a local photographer named Abed and I pass through 4 checkpoints where cars are routinely stopped by police and their contents checked for weapons. At the far side of the camp are tunnels. There are over 150, it is said, through which all kinds of goods travel illicitly from Egypt to the shops and homes of the Gaza Strip. A large group of men is gathered at sundown, chatting amiably, surrounded by new shiny red motorbikes. In January, Hamas destroyed the iron walls built by the Israelis south of Rafah. 200,000 Palestinians passed through into Egypt in a few days. They came back loaded with essentials like batteries, electrical goods, building materials, and all kinds of medicine. The young men all bought Chinese motorbikes from the nearby Egyptian city of El Arish. With petrol so scarce and parts for cars in ever shortening supplies, the solution to travel problems here is to go by 2 wheels. I stand with a group of middle-aged businessmen who want to pose for photos. The tunnels, once secret passageways regularly bombed by the Israelis, are now spoken of quite openly. Egyptians on the other side take bribes to turn a blind eye to the boxes of goods that go through. The tunnels are nicknamed the Gazan subway. I'm pulling a rope to the men inviting me to test a flashy motorbike for size. They are surprised. Not many from the outside world know how the system inside the tunnels actually works. People and goods are lowered into the dugout holes and put into boxes attached to one another by ropes. It takes just 15 minutes for the Rafah teams to heave materials and human cargo back up and out into the Rafah sunshine, or more likely the darkness. As I peer over at the tunnels, I contemplate my very unique journalistic perspective. I now know what it is like to live under siege, unable to escape, and to work in a place where all the normal rules of civilized society do not apply. Chapter 15. What did you do on your summer vacation? From Dr. Bill. September 2nd to 7th, 2008. After our press release, Ken, Lauren, and I hold a press conference at the headquarters of the Palestinian news agency Ramatan. We have started trying to play hardball. We have been stuck here for over 4 days,